Hello, brave boys and girls. Today we're going to be learning about an amazing story. It's when God sent 10 plagues on the land of Egypt. Let's get started. The Bible teaches that God is omnipotent, and that means that He is all-powerful. In Luke 1:37, the Bible declares, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." And at different times throughout history, God has displayed His mighty power for all of the world to see. One of those times occurred many years ago in the land of Egypt. In the Old Testament book of Exodus, we read of a time when God's people, the nation of Israel, lived under Egyptian bondage. And the wicked ruler was called the Pharaoh. Pharaoh was the king of Egypt, and he was a cruel man, and he mercilessly abused the Jewish people. During that time, God raised up a man by the name of Moses. Moses was a mighty man of God who God sent to confront the Pharaoh and to lead his people out of the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh refused and refused. And God chose to reveal His power and glory by sending a series of 10 plagues on the land of Egypt. Let's see if we can learn them together today. The first plague was turning the water into blood. The second plague was frogs. The third plague was lice. The fourth plague was flies. The fifth plague was murrain, which is a sickness that usually affects cattle. The sixth plague was boils, which are nasty sores all over your body. The seventh plague was hail and fire that fell down from heaven. The eighth plague was locusts. The ninth plague was darkness in the land for 3 whole days. And the 10th plague was the death of the firstborn. After each of these plagues, Pharaoh hardened his heart and refused to let God's people go. But through these mighty acts, God proved that He was greater than all the false gods and idols that the Egyptians worshipped. Eventually, Pharaoh allowed Moses to lead God's people into the land that God had promised to give them. If you would like to learn more about this miraculous account, then you should read in the book of Exodus, chapters 7 through 12. Now, before we finish, let's try saying these 10 plagues one more time all together. The first plague was turning the water into blood. The second plague was frogs. The third plague was lice. The fourth plague was flies. The fifth plague was murrain. The sixth plague was boils. The seventh plague was hail and fire from heaven. The eighth plague was locusts. The ninth plague was darkness for 3 days. And the 10th plague was the death of the firstborn. Now, let me tell you, you did a great job today. Thank you for learning with us.